Happy, Thursday? Today is Thursday for sure. Two things that I thought were interesting that I wanted to talk about. One is a continuation of a topic yesterday, which was the California races. But the other is the SPLC superseding indictment that just rolled out, which is interesting. But in relation to the case, or in relation to the California elections, what I find interesting is exactly what I kind of said yesterday was going to happen, is starting to happen, which is that now the DOJ is taking a look at California's elections, which is only going to lead to one thing, which is people are going to question the outcome of the election on both sides now, because if wrongdoing is found by the DOJ, then they're going to highlight it, they're going to prosecute people, and then those Democrats are going to claim that that Trump is trying to rig the election in favor of Republicans. But for any average person kind of sitting out there, you're looking at it and going, well, why does it take so long for these elections to get called? This was a problem in Florida, by the way. If you look at the George Bush races or the races prior to essentially Republicans kind of taking over, there was one particular county or I guess district necessarily in Florida that continuously had problems. Once that person was ousted, Florida had no more problems with getting election results in night of. I think California is going to go through the same thing. And it just kind of, it's interesting that, in my opinion, I think the current administration could have brought suits against California earlier because of the way that they run their voting, but they didn't. I think they just wanted to let them hang themselves in front of the country. Just my personal opinion, because now everybody can kind of see the shenanigans that are going on. Now, I looked at where things currently sit with 62% of the vote in for the mayoral election. We sit at 183,000 votes for Karen Bass, 157,000 for Spencer Pratt, and 119 for Nithya Raman. Now, the interesting thing is that they've already called the race for Karen Bass. She leads Spencer Pratt with 26,000 votes. Spencer Pratt leads Nithya Raman by 38,000 votes, yet they have not declared him as the second runner-up in this case. And votes just seem to be coming in that are very few for Spencer Pratt and seem to be odd numbers for both Nithya Raman and Karen Bass. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird just on the outside when you're like, okay, election day was now 2 days ago, and all these batches of votes keep coming in favor of the Democrats and not in Republicans in similar numbers. This isn't, again, the mayor's race is just one region. The voting demographic is going to be relatively even across the city. It's not like a statewide election like the Steve Hilton and Becerra race, which, by the way, as of now, 56% of the votes are in. 1.4 million for Steve Hilton, 1.3 million for Becerra, and 1 million for Tom Steyer. Congratulations to Tom Steyer for finally breaking 1 million. Good job, buddy. Don't think you're going to make it. But just interesting in general, I think the shenanigans in that particular case are going to escalate. And I don't think it's going to be great for elections in general, but I think it's a necessary for California. They need to get their ass together because you cannot run elections like this. You cannot have days upon end there's just no logical explanation for it. People are like, oh, well, they just have a lot of mail-in votes. Yeah, so does Florida, so does Texas, so do these other places. They get it done day of, or at least within 2 to 3 days. Again, we're sitting at a very low percentage that have been counted for, and with millions of votes in some cases still sitting out there if we're talking about the statewide election for governor. Now, as it pertains to the superseding indictment, just interesting in general. I find the entire case kind of interesting from the perspective that generally liberals have leaned on the SPLC and organizations like them to say that racism in America is rampant, and only they have the ability to fight it. Now, what's interesting in the SPLC's case is that while they were saying they were fighting it, they were also allegedly funding it from one side. So if we just look at the list of other groups that they were funding, the KKK, Aryan Nations and affiliates, the Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, interesting, the National Socialist Movement, the National Alliance, the National Socialist Party of America, America Front, and then specifically Unite the Right, which is what I wanted to talk about. So Unite the Right was, there was a person, there was an informant referred to as F-37, that was a member of the group, who helped, this apparent individual received $270,000 from the SPLC over 8 years, starting in 2015 to 2023. Allegedly, the SPLC helped organize the event for several attendees. I'm talking about Unite the Right. Attend the rally at the SPLC's direction, and then shared racist social media posts helped with the organization's efforts associated with the rally. They were approving these posts that were going out. So the question is, like, right, so if you're just looking at the Unite the Right, but for the help from the SPLC, would that event even happened? It's interesting to think about. You look at groups like the Patriot Front that just kind of come out of nowhere, which aren't listed, by the way, in this in the indictment or the superseding indictment. But I guarantee that groups like the Patriot Front are going to be found to be part of this SPLC payment scheme. And they can say, oh, we were just paying for informants. Well, paying for informants is one thing. Funding the activities, making sure that people get to places, so that you can then go on and say that this event happened and therefore we see hate rising in the US. While it may not be illegal, ultimately determined to be illegal, it's not going to look good for the SPLC. And it's also going to make people just generally question more of what these not-for-profits and nonprofits are actually doing with the money that they're getting, and are the stats and figures that they're putting out, are they real? But at any rate, just thinking about that stuff, I think, there's a lot of interesting things going on. It is a slow news week, very slow news week. We just have the election and then this SPLC indictment, or superseding indictment. But outside of that, there's really not a whole lot happening. But at any rate, I hope that everybody's having a great day. And as always, keep believing that the best for America is still ahead. Peace out.